Welcome back, everyone. Thrift Barringer here. Richard Holdridge. It's inside the GIAA, presented by Rich,
the Beck Center.
All right, first things first, Rich, you had the pleasure of being up in Rome, Georgia at Georgia University for the volleyball semifinals and finals championship presented by the Beck Center. Right here, we're in the Beck Center studios. Thank you to Roger Beck and the Beck Center presenting all the state championships, including this show inside the GIAA. Rich, give me your assessment, thoughts on that, and let's talk about who those state champions were for 2A and 3A.
Yeah, what a great setting. I want to thank Shorter University for putting on such a great event. 2-day event that started on Friday with the semifinals, 2 classifications. We had 4 outstanding volleyball matches that started at 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and then we crowned champions of the 2A classification and the 3A classification. Let's start with Friday. We had that first game. Grace Christian, the number 8 seed, they were taking on Augusta Prep, the number 4 seed, and Grace Christian able to win in 4 sets. Then you had the defending 2A champion, Heritage Hawks, taking on LaGrange Academy, who hasn't been up there in 15 years. And that was the match that was later. And then the 3A, we had the number 1 seed, the Keens Academy, taking on the number 4 seed, Tallulah Falls. Tallulah Falls, they were down 2-1, and they ended up defeating the Keens Academy in 5 sets. And then we had the number 2 seed, Brookstone, taking on the number 3 seed, St. Anne Pacelli. This was the rematch of the 3A classification championship last season, and Pacelli was able to win that in 4 sets. And so the stage was set for the championship. We had 2 defending champions, starting with the 2A. It was Grace Christian taking on Heritage. Grace Christian took a 2-0 lead in the volleyball match, and Heritage, Ava Bassett, was just a beast down front. She was willing her team to come back from an 0-2 deficit.
Wow.
And the Heritage Hawks are back-to-back champions for the 2A classification.
Unbelievable.
And then we finally had Tallulah Falls. This is their second year in the GIAA. They had a big fan base that made their way up from Northeast Georgia.
Yeah, they did.
Pacelli did as well. And you had the defending 3A champion, Pacelli Vikings, who lost in that first set to Tallulah Falls. But it was the play of Shannon Menifee, Mayla Resnick, and then the freshman sensation, Samantha Sinabola, who gave Pacelli the win, and they are back-to-back champions. So we had crowned 2 back-to-back champions.
Any other final thoughts, Richard? Any other things that sticked out to you? Who were your players of the game for both championships?
Well, for Heritage, it was Ava Bassett.
And how about going back-to-back for Heritage and
back-to-back? And for Pacelli, Shannon Menifee. By far, she is just a dominant player. Ava Bassett as well. Anytime you can get a player where their teammates are setting them up to get a big slam. I mean, Ava Bassett might have had like 12 kills in probably even in one. It was incredible. And what a comeback. I never thought I would see a volleyball team come back from an 0-2 deficit. It does happen more than – I was talking to some of the officials. It does happen more than people think. But an 0-2 deficit to come back from was incredible. And congratulations to both champions.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. When we come back from break, softball regular season wrapped up on Saturday, Richard. The rankings have came out, and so have the brackets. We're going to rehash all that and talk about what we're expecting for 32 teams, all going in with a chance to win a state championship at 1A, 2A, 3A, and 4A from South Commons in Columbus, Georgia. Well, we'll talk about that and preview it coming up next on Inside the GIAA.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.tv, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted. For introverts and extroverts. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
GIAA.TV now brings you more live coverage of more sports than ever before. Announcing GIAA.TV Lite with live coverage of swim, wrestling, cheer, and more. GIAA.TV Lite is the next best thing to being there. From one screen, you will hear the crowd, see the action, the scores, the stats, and more. With no play-by-play or instant replays, GIAA.TV Lite is half the price of our regular broadcast. Announcing GIAA.TV Plus. With all of your fan favorites, GIAA.TV Plus now adds volleyball, softball, all-star football, and more. Featuring all the play-by-play, instant replays, multiple angles, and more, all for less than the cost of 2 adult tickets to the event. Don't miss 1 second of the action all year long, only on GIAA.TV.
Inside the GIAA, Richard, let's talk about softball. They're going to be here at South Commons Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday will be the championship and IF games, Richard, so we're excited about that. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, Richard. Let's throw up those rankings. So let's first start with 1A classification. We have 8 teams that are in it. And the first round, we got Citizens Christian, the favorite. They come in as the number 1 seed. They take on Westwood. This is 10 o'clock 10 o'clock on Thursday. We got number 4, Chris, taking on number 5, Fullington. We got Robert Toombs taking on Thomas Jefferson. That's in the 3-6. And then David Emmanuel, the number 2 seed, taking on Twigs, the number 7. Anything dropping out to you right there in the 1A classification bracket?
No, I do think that Citizens Christian is the favorite. I've noticed that Crisp, we could possibly see a rematch in the winner's bracket on Thursday. Remember, it's a double elimination tournament. We're only showing the bracket of the 8 teams. There is a double elimination bracket down at the bottom.
And 2A, number 1, Brentwood taking on number 8, Trinity Christian. Number 4, Gatewood taking on number 5, Briarwood. Brentwood coming in the favorite this year. Gatewood and Briarwood should be a lot of fun in 4-5. 3-6 is Southland and Edmund Burke. And then Southwest Georgia, we know them pretty well, don't we, Richard?
Yeah, we do.
As they're taking on Windsor in the 2-7. These games are all on Thursday as well.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a collision course for Brentwood and Southwest Georgia, but there might be a team that could sneak up. Gatewood's been there before, and we've also seen Southland Academy out of Americas. I'm just excited that the 2A classification, we got some pretty good teams that could make deep runs, and let's go. South Commons Softball Complex is where it's going to be at.
So if they win, they do play again on Thursday. Now, if they lose, they'll have to play on
they're still Thursday.
As well.
It's going to be earlier in the day.
Remember, this is just winner's bracket that you're looking at right now. It is not the entire bracket that has to, if you lose one, because this is double elimination. You're not out if you lose one.
It is double elimination.
This is double elimination. If you win the winner's bracket, you're set up for the championship. That'll be 12 p.m. on Saturday. All right, let's continue on, Big Rich, into the we skipped 3A classification. There it is. Number 1, defending champion, Westfield, taking on number 8, Piedmont. Richard, rematch of last year's state championship, wasn't it?
26-18.
Wasn't it Piedmont or was it Pinewood?
I want to say it was Piedmont. It was Piedmont.
We're going to have to go. We're going to let you look that up, Richard, because everybody's wondering how the heck do we not know that off the top of our head.
We know everything about the GIAA. How do we not know?
We'll go look that up real quick, Richard. As John Millage, number 4, takes on number 5, Tift Area. Pinewood, who is a perennial really good team, takes on Athens Christian. And then how about Terrell Academy taking on Valwood? All these games will be at 12 p.m. on Thursday. So 1A and 2A play their games on at 10 a.m., on Thursday. And then 3A and 4A play theirs at 12 p.m. So 10 a.m., 12 p.m., Richard, is when these teams will battle it out. And it's going to be all at GIAA. And you can find all this information, where the games, the bracket, what field, on GIAAsports.org is the name of the website. Richard, what are some things that are sticking out to you?
Well, I mean, Westfield School is the defending champions. I think they are a very strong team because they are in classification with a lot of 4A schools. It's Piedmont, yes.
Yeah, they lost 26-18. They beat Westfield 13-4 and beat Pinewood in the semifinals, then beat Westfield to do the what-if game that went 26-18.
26-18.
Were you on the call for that game, Richard?
No, I wasn't on the call. I think
Aiden
Modzinga was on the call for that game. We were calling the Tatnall George Walton game in the main stadium, and then you could hear them screaming over on the field right next to the main stadium. And how about those seats down the first base line where they could just turn around and see that game? So it was just a great atmosphere. And to have Westfield Piedmont Academy go 26-18, that was incredible.
Unbelievable, man. So there's your 3A. Now let's go to 4A. And in the 4A classification, Richard, the number one team is Calvary Christian. They take on Stratford. Calvary's been number one pretty much the whole year. Again, all these games in 3A and 4A are 12 p.m. Tatnall Square, defending champion, takes on Bethlehem Christian. That's the 4-5. The 3-6 is Loganville 6, first FPD 3, and then Strong Rock Christian, the number 2 seed. By the way, them and Calvary were in the same classification.
That's right.
That's how loaded that one was. They take on George Walton, who played in last year's championship and lost to Tatnall Square. And 4A, what's standing out with you, man?
Well, in 4A, just the resurgence of Calvary Christian. They got into the tournament last year. They were a young team, but they were the 4 seed that lost to FPD in that first round. So they actually had to go through the elimination bracket. They did defeat Loganville, but lost to Strong Rock. You would think that experience of Tatnall being the defending state champions, even though they're not the same team, we could have a epic second-round matchup between Calvary and Tatnall, which Calvary did defeat them in the regular season 2-1. Strong Rock going up against the runner-up, George Walton. I'm interested to see that matchup, and FPD taking on Loganville Christian. I really think all 8 of these teams in the 4A classification can make a run and win a championship. I think that the 4A classification is wide open.
Wide open indeed. So you can look at all these on GIAAsports.org. That's where the information's at. You'll be able to see who's playing where at what time, and we cannot wait. We'll have all the action on GIAA.tv. Again, that is GIAA.tv. If you look at softball right now, day 1 streams, you can go, and they'll be up ready for you on Thursday. Pre-sale for tomorrow's games will begin at 4 p.m. On Wednesday for Thursday's game. So all you got to do is go look at it, and then you'll be able to see all fields that the teams are being played at. You can pick each game you want to go and watch. It's very affordable. It's the cost of 2 adult tickets each day. No reason. I'm talking about no reason why you shouldn't watch all the action on GIAA.tv. All right, Richard, who are some of your favorites? I would say Calvary and Strong Rock. I look like I'm going chalk in that one. If you want to throw back up there, actually, you already took it off, but Calvary and Strong Rock, obviously Westfield in 3A, Southwest Georgia in 2A, and 1A Citizens Christian. Any other teams you want to kind of throw out there that some of the favorites that can win it all?
I think that Citizens Christian is the favorite over in 1A. In 2A, I really like Brentwood. In 3A, Westfield School, they are dominant, but be on the lookout for John Village. I think that's a team that can sneak up on some people. And in 4A, I mean, Calvary is the number 1 team, and they have been dominant this regular season, but they are so young. That experience of what Tatnall brings, because they've been there before, that can be a factor, especially when you're playing in the bright stage, in the bright lights on the big stage. But I do like Calvary because they had just been dominant all year. So it's going to be just a great tournament. I cannot wait. 8 teams in 4 classifications, double elimination. They have multiple fields. Of course, they have the main stadium, but they have up to 4 or 5 fields. This is why it's such a great complex over there in South Columbus.
All right, let's take a break, Richard. When we come back, we will have an opportunity to talk about those football rankings. Then we got Commissioner's Corner, and we'll wrap it up here on Inside the GIAA.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.tv, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association.
Founded Founded in 1985, the Georgia Independent School Association proudly represents nearly 170 accredited private, independent, and parochial schools across the state. From Tallulah Falls to St. Simon's Island, from Columbus to Augusta, our schools serve over 76,000 students every year. Whether parents are interested in smaller class sizes, more individual attention, a religious-based curriculum, or a safe and structured environment, the GISA provides a strong education, which is the foundation for success. To learn more about the GISA and how they can serve your school, visit us online at www.gisaschools.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the GIAA, presented by the Beck Center. Thank you to Roger Beck and the Beck Center, presenting all the state championships in the GIAA, and, of course, the high school scoreboard show that we'll do every Friday night. And we do every Friday night. We'll be back this Friday night. We're going to talk about our game of the week. We got the Mallory and Evans team of the week that we'll announce in as well. Thank you to Drew Butler. And we're excited about that. But this is Inside the GIAA. We do every Wednesday night here live from the Beck Center. Rich, let's do it. First things first, 1A classification. There's only 4 teams, and we got a new number 1. And we got a new number 2. The number 1 team, Flint River, drops to number 3. Number 2, Edmund Burke goes to number 1, and number 3, Robert Toombs goes to number 2. Thomas Jefferson stays at number 4. Flint River lost, Richard, and because of that and their schedule not being near as tough as the other teams, I think that is one of the reasons why they end up dropping, even though they overall have a better winning percentage than Robert Toombs and Edmund Burke.
Yeah, Flint River ended up taking on Windsor. They was able to defeat Windsor. I think their strength of schedule is the reason why Robert Toombs actually jumped Flint River.
They lost to Kings Ridge back in September. You're right,
back in September, and they lost to Calvary Christian. They do play Heritage this week. I think that could be a win for Flint River, but it goes back to that strength of schedule. Edmund Burke and Robert Toombs has played a tougher schedule than Flint River.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Richard. By the way, Robert Toombs plays a top 5 team in Southwest Georgia. Now, Robert Toombs has beaten Briarwood, Thomas Jefferson, and St. Andrews. Their losses are to Pinewood Christian, Edmund Burke, Bullock Academy, Frederica, and Southwest Georgia. And they lost to Southwest Georgia by 2 points on the road last week to a top 3 team in the 2A classification. That could be a big thing for a reason why they end up jumping over Flint River. Now, as far as Edmund Burke, they come in 5-3. They got Gatewood this week. They beat Augusta Prep 35-0. Their losses are to Pinewood, Trinity Christian, and Brentwood. So we'll see how this is going to finish out. But you remember they did beat Robert Toombs Christian Academy. All right. Any other thoughts, Richard? Not really on the 1A because it's only 4 teams. Let's go to 2A classification now. Remember, 10 teams in 2A will make it. Let's first start with the number 10 team. The team that's out right now that would not make the playoffs would be Heritage. Number 10, Dominion Christian. Augusta Prep 1-7. So Heritage 1-7. Dominion Christian 2-5 at 10. Augusta Prep 1-7. Windsor Academy 1-7. Heritage still technically not out if they're able to pull off some victories here.
Absolutely.
The next couple of weeks. But Dominion Christian, Augusta Prep, Windsor 7. Gatewood 3-5. Trinity Christian comes in number 6 at 5-3. Central Fellowship number 5 at 4-4. Briarwood. I just talked about Briarwood Christian Academy, Richard. And their loss this year are to Robert Toombs and Brentwood. So this is why Robert Toombs jumped over them, because Briarwood's ranked number 4 in 2A, and Robert Toombs beat them. Southwest Georgia Academy comes in number 3, 5-3. Number 2, I really think is one of the shocks, man. Southland.
It's the team of the year.
6-2. And then the number 1 team, man, and they are so far ahead of everybody else, Big Rich. That is Brentwood right now. Brentwood would probably have to lose 2 or 3 more games for them not to be the number 1 team going in. But remember, the top 10 make it. 7 through 10 get first round. So Gatewood would host Dominion. Windsor would host Augusta Prep. And the top 6 teams would all get a bye for that quarterfinals.
Yeah, and that's going to take place on October the 31st. Yeah, it's going to be coming up before you know it, as we have a couple of weeks left in the regular season in the GIAA. Brentwood's the defending champions. I think that they're going to be there when it's all said and done. Southwest Georgia Academy is the runners-up, but how about Southland?
Wow.
They have just been lighting everybody on fire. I mean, they've just come out of nowhere. We know that Briarwood's good. I think right now we could have a semifinal matchup between those 4 teams, and it would just be box office. Just sign me up for that, because those are 4 teams I think they can win a championship.
Yeah, 100% agree on that, Richard. All right, and I still think right now Brentwood and Adam, the Fighting Adam
Lords, loving it,
are the favorite. Number 10, Piedmont. Number 9, the Lakeview. Number 8, Terrell Academy. Number 7, Pinewood Christian. So 7, Pinewood would host Piedmont. Terrell would host Lakeview in the first round on Halloween. The top 6 all get biased to the quarterfinals. Thrift area comes in at number 6. Thrift area just had a battle against Deerfield Windsor and lost by 7, who's undefeated, the defending champions. Frederica comes in at number 5, 5-3. Westville drops a spot because they had a tough time with a really improved Calvary team in the 4A classification, and Westville sits at 6-2. They host a really good Brookstone team. We'll find out their ranking here in just a moment. Number 3, Valwood, 5-2. Guess who they play, Richard, this weekend?
Deerfield Windsor.
They are playing against Deerfield Windsor, and they are playing, I think, at home. Yes, Valwood will be hosting.
There we go.
Richard, Deerfield Windsor this Friday night.
Rematch of the championship.
And then number 1, John Millage Academy. Another dominant performance for John Millage. They are now 7-1. They beat FPD last week, 34-17.
Wow,
34-17. Let me give you John Millage, and I'm sorry, I got to take a minute. Bethlehem Christian has 2 losses this year, Richard. They lost 49-6. They beat Tift Area, ranked number 6, 42-7. Their only losses to a GHSA school in Athens Academy, lost by 14 on the road. They beat defending champion 4A Bullock Academy on the road by 9. They beat Brentwood, the only loss they got all year, 31-28 at home. They dominated Stratford at home, 51-13, who's ranked number 1 in 4A. No surprise there. And then they just beat FPD, who just beat Stratford, 34-17. They're dominant. They're back to being the way they are. I think that they're the favorite. But, man, those 4 teams between Westville, Valwood, Deerfield Windsor, and John Millage, that is going to be an absolute, I'm talking a knockdown, drag out that we're going to be seeing here for sure, man. So give me your 3A classification thoughts.
Well, I think that John Millage is the favorites to win the 3A classification championship, but you can never count out the 2 teams that were in the championship last year. Deerfield Windsor is still undefeated. That is something to say. I think that Lane Seals, what can you say about the dual threat quarterback who's just a playmaker? And then Valwood, they've had some tough opponents. Their 2 losses, I believe, to Brookstone and then McClay, I believe, from that private school from Florida that keeps popping up on these GIAA teams' records. But also, Westfield School has been battle-tested. They've got a tough matchup against Brookstone this week. And then Frederica, I actually think that the 3A classification is the most compelling box office, especially when we get to those semifinals. They're going to feel like championship games.
No doubt about it. All right, let's go to 4A now, Rich. And the 4A classification, we did have some movement up at the top. And the 4A classification has more teams than any of the classifications. There are 15 4A teams. Now, on the outside, Athens Christian 4-4. They're right behind Loganville, who comes in at number 10. Number 12, Mountain DeSales. Number 13, Tatnall Square Academy. Number 14, Teams Academy. And number 15, Riverside Military Academy. Okay, so those are the teams that are on the outside. Let's talk about on the inside. Loganville 5-3 comes in at number 10. Number 9, Calvin Christian. They've dropped some, Rich.
Yeah.
They come in 5-3. They won a 3-game losing streak. They've lost to Pacelli, Brookstone, and Westfield. So, number 8, Pacelli. Man, they were so close. They were driving and within striking distance of taking the lead at the end of the game. Another one-possession game between 2 rivals, Brookstone and Pacelli. This time, Brookstone upends 19-14. Came down the wire. Really well-coached game by both teams. And I would not be surprised if those 2 teams end up finding a way to play each other again in the playoffs. We've seen that twice before already here the last couple of years.
Yes, we have.
So Pacelli, look out for them. They're one of those sneaky teams at the bottom. If you ask me who would be a sleeper team, mine would probably be Pacelli.
It'd be a tough out.
Number 7, Bethlehem Christian, 6-2. I told you John Millage dominated them, and they only have 2 losses. Number 6, Strong Rock. They lost last week. Richard, I think they had a bye last week. Yes, they had a bye last week, and they host Calvary Christian this weekend. Their losses are to Bullock Academy and to Brookstone. Excuse me, not Brookstone, but Bullock Academy. And then they lost to Westfield as well. Strong Rock is number 6. Number 5, George Walton Academy, undefeated.
Yeah.
The only undefeated team in the entire association. But the number 5, because the strength of schedule is one of the worst. And if you look at all the teams left, they have the worst strength ranking on Max Preps. They're negative 26.1. Even at number 15, the Riverside Military Academy, who's the last team ranked in 4A, they have it at 24.7. So the strength has not been great for George Walton, which is why they're undefeated. But they haven't lost a game. Credit to them. They play who's on their schedule.
Yeah.
They're number 5. Bullock, number 4, 6-2. FPD loses. They drop to number 3. Brookstone beats Pacelli. They move up to number 2. And Stan at number 1 is Stratford. They bounce back after losing back-to-back games, Richard, to 2 really good schools. And John Millage and FPD, they dominate Tatnall 49-0. And I don't think they're going to have any problems in their last 2 games. They're probably going to stay number 1. I don't know who my favorite is in this one. I know John Millage is the favorite in 3A. And then we got in 1A, maybe Edmund Burke. 2A, we know it's Brentwood. I don't know with this one, man. I know Stratford beat Brookstone. But Brookstone dominated FPD, who beat Stratford.
Yeah. And
all of them lost except for Brookstone and John Millage. I just think this whole thing is going to be an absolute a war as well. The entire, not just the top 4, the entire. Bethlehem will host Loganville and Pacelli will host Calvary if the playoffs started today.
Yeah, I do think that at the top of the 4A classification, you have some teams that can win a championship. Bullock Academy is the defending champions, but you can never count out a team like FPD, Stratford, Brookstone. They've all been battle tested. I'm interested to see what George Walton does in the playoffs. If chalk is the case in that first round, George Walton would end up having to face Bullock Academy, but they would have to face that game on their own. They definitely would be tested there. I think that we could end up seeing Strong Rock make a run. If they can get an upset, we could see Strong Rock and Brookstone in the semifinals, but it's up for grabs. You can never count out a team like Pacelli that if they could get on a run, and with them being the number 8 seed, I mean, they could end up upsetting Stratford in the second round. So
yeah, I'm telling you,
it's up for grabs.
It really is, and it's going to be a lot of fun seeing when these playoffs start. So we cannot wait.
Yeah, and also we have
8-man
rankings. Yeah.
All right, let's start with the final of the 8-man. Covenant Christian comes in number 10. Monsignor Donovan, number 9. David Emmanuel, number 8. Westwood at number 7. Citizens Christian, number 6. Westminster Christian, number 5. Georgia Christian, number 4. Westminster Schools of Augusta, who beat Westminster Christian, is number 3. Vidalia Heritage, number 2. And the number 1 ranked team, the prohibited favorite, the defending champion, Sherwood Christian, 7-0. Take a break. We got Clint Morgan coming up with Commissioner's Corner, and then we'll wrap it up here on GIAA.TV. It's Inside the GIAA, presented by the Bank.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.TV, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association. GIAA.TV now brings you more live coverage of more sports than ever before. Announcing GIAA.TV Lite with live coverage of swim, wrestling, cheer, and more. GIAA.TV Lite is the next best thing to being there. From one screen, you will hear the crowd, see the action, the scores, the stats, and more. With no play-by-play or instant replays, GIAA.TV Lite is half the price of our regular broadcast. Announcing GIAA.TV Plus, with all of your fan favorites. GIAA.TV Plus now adds volleyball, softball, all-star football, and more, featuring all the play-by-play, instant replays, multiple angles, and more, all for less than the cost of 2 adult tickets to the event. Don't miss 1 second of the action all year long, only on GIAA.TV.
And we are having fun as we always do. Big Rich, as we've been getting into all the power rankings, the brackets, the volleyball and softball state championships. But we do this every week, and we're going to bring him on, the man, the myth, the legend himself, one of our commissioners of the GIAA. His name is Clint Morgan. Clint, thank you so much for taking your time out of your very busy schedule to join us here on the program.
Well, I don't think I'm the only busy one. I know you guys stay busy yourselves, and but we definitely want to appreciate you guys for all you do for our league, and Roger Beck and the Beck Center. Just appreciate all you guys do for us.
No doubt about it. And thank you again to the Beck Center and Roger Beck for presenting all our state championships and this show. All right, Clint, let's get into it. We had volleyball last week. We talked about it earlier on the show. What a performance by those teams. What a weekend. I wanted you to give like the overall assessment of Shorter University, having it there, and what it meant to be able to host the GIAA Volleyball State Championships.
Yeah, the first and foremost, it's the first time we've had the ability to be in a college venue, and Shorter University was nothing short of phenomenal, and they accommodated us very well. Them having a game themselves in the middle of our event between the semifinals and finals just made it great. The atmosphere was electric, and just having all the girls and all the schools come into that college venue just made it that much more important for them, and it was well done, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. Coming from Bainbridge or Columbus or it could be in the backyard. Let's be honest. If someone's playing for a state championship, they don't mind traveling. We know that Shorter University is very north, but we do things that are going to be very south as well. We're trying to move things around some, give people opportunities, and but the one thing is for certain, again, if someone's playing for a state championship, they don't mind driving. And it's not that we try to put people in a long driving travel situation. We just do our best to make sure that we provide them the best accommodations possible. And I think that was accomplished, and I think everyone enjoyed themselves again, and it was well done. I can't say it enough about how happy we were with the facility and everything that went on at the facility.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And Richard, he caught all 6 games, Clint. I don't know how he had a voice because he was yelling, screaming, having a lot of fun the entire time. So thank you again to you. And I think GIAA.TV, I was watching an incredible broadcast. And overall, man, another class operation put on by you, Kent, Robert, the entire staff, man. And this is why GIAA is such a growing and a great league, because of doing things like this. We're not worried about costs. What we're worried about, I mean, you are worried about costs, but you're worried about making sure that the athletes get the best experience possible. I didn't mean to put my foot in my mouth there, Clint, but you get what I was saying. You're trying to put the athlete first.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm going to say this first and foremost. All props need to be sent to Kent Copeland. He did a great job. He handles volleyball from start to finish, and like I said, everything that we've heard has been nothing but positive, and that is 100% attributed to Kent Copeland and his work for doing that.
All right, Clint. Now I know you only got a few more minutes because you're busy. Let's talk about softball. It's the biggest event I think that we put on the entire year. It's 3 days. That's got over 32 teams. That's going to have thousands of people at South Commons in Columbus. Talk about, is there any news and notes, how excited you are to be back in Columbus, and why this has been the home the last couple of years for the state championships?
When you say that, why is it the home? If anyone ever comes to the event, they'll know why. South Commons just does an awesome job for us, and the nostalgia of that Olympic stadium, and having our kids have the opportunity to play for the state championship game in the same venue that the Olympics were held in 1996. Those type things are you can't put a price tag on that. I know that Columbus has always done a great job with bringing us in. The city takes care of us. The hotels, the restaurants, they get full all 3 days. The economic value for Columbus is tremendous, and we just are super excited to be back in Columbus. We do have 32 teams. Second year that we've had 32 teams coming, and the structure, the organization, everything has to work the right way, and making sure that the right arm knows what the left arm's doing, and we have a lot of people to thank for making this happen. Mary Sherman has always done a great job of getting us there. David and his staff, Ashley, they all have done a tremendous job helping us out, and we look forward to for the weekend, and it's going to be a real exciting time.
Clint, every Friday on the Scoreboard Show, Drew Butler comes on to announce the Mallory and Evans Team of the Week. Just talk about that partnership with Mallory and Evans and what they mean to GIAA sports. Yeah,
Mallory and Evans, obviously a tremendous supporter of ours, and Drew Butler, the name himself makes it that much more special for us. And the fact that he comes on and presents it himself, and it does mean a lot to us. And obviously we could use a lot of other people that would like to show the support the same way that they do, but the fact that Mallory and Evans has stepped up and done their own team of the week, and that's for football. We're looking forward to hopefully being able to do something with basketball and in some of the other sports as well. It's hard, and we understand that, but it is 100% a thankless job, and the fact that Drew Butler himself again is doing it. We appreciate him tremendously for that. Same goes to Roger Beck. Let's be honest. The Beck Center presenting all of our state championship events. It's amazing at what he does, and I can see on the screen right here looking and seeing the Beck Center sitting there, and it just means the world to us. So appreciate Roger Beck as well.
Well, Clint, thank you so much, man. We look forward to seeing you at South Commons. Everyone, it is very affordable to watch high-level softball. Come down to Columbus, Georgia. And you can also watch on GIAA.tv. Thank you so much, Clint, and we look forward to seeing you this week, man.
Appreciate you guys. Take care, okay?
That is Clint Morgan, one of our commissioners, the man himself that makes everything go round, and I appreciate him and his team for what he represents here in the GIAA. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap it up here on Inside the GIAA, presented by the Beck Center on GIAA.tv.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.tv, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Everyone inside the GIAA, thank you to Clint Morgan. Cannot wait to be in South Commons. That's where we will be for the high school scoreboard show. Cannot wait to kind of break it down, Big Rich. It's going to be a lot of fun seeing all the action. We'll be on the call for GIAA.tv on Saturday for those softball state championship, and if necessary games. Any other final thoughts before we get out of here, man?
No, I just cannot wait for an exciting week as the GIAA is back-to-back championship weeks. First at Shorter, now down at the South Commons in Columbus. And before you know it, we're going to have the cross-country meet. We're going to have clay target shooting. We're going to have competition cheer.
Yep.
And we're going to have sideline cheer, and then the football championships. And then We're going to end up putting a bow on fall sports. And guess what, Thrift? In about a month, we're going to have winter sports, the start of basketball season and wrestling and archery. It's just going to be a lot of fun in the GIAA, and I'm excited that we get to be a part of this show.
By the way, cross country state championships, October the 25th, Richard, at Middle Georgia State University in Macon. We want to say thank y'all so much. Thank you to Roger Beck at the Beck Center, as always.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.tv, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association.